I think 9B, pardon me, yeah. What I might recommend here is that the infrastructure, you can bring it forward, but the infrastructure committee may wish to take this away, do more work on it, and then bring it forward for the 2015 budget process, and so that we can really prepare for it, because it's a major.
It's my understanding that there's money available to be able to do the infrastructure master plan, and I believe there is a sense of urgency both from acting Public Works Manager that he would like to go ahead with this, and the resident members of the Infrastructure Committee strongly support this recommendation to Council, that it should be done sooner rather than later. And so if the money's available, they'd rather not put it off until the 2015 year.
There's consulting funds available for specific projects, but this type of plan will be a significant cost that I don't think we've had. The previous plan was a significant cost. Anyway, I'll see what council's wish is, but I don't think that there's those kinds of funds in the 2014 budget. I know that there's consulting funds there, but that would be a pretty significant piece.
In my opinion, that the Infrastructure Committee is actually stalled at the moment, where we don't have a master plan for them to be able to help assist with. I see that their role now would be to develop with staff a proposal on what should be included in an infrastructure master plan. So if you postpone it to the 2015 budget, then basically you're going to lose another year, and the infrastructure is going to decay, for lack of a better word, or deteriorate by another year. So as we've now determined that there wasn't an infrastructure master plan done in 2005, 2006, we deem that it's now an appropriate time to do an infrastructure master plan, which is more encompassing, which would include roads, wastewater, plus perform other strategic studies. So I move this resolution. If there isn't a seconder, then that's fine. Happy to move this resolution and see what the thought is on council. If there's funds or if there isn't funds, or if you'd like to postpone, but council is going to take that back to the infrastructure.
Is there a seconder? There not being a seconder, what I recommend is that there's further discussion about it, because it's a fairly significant project. So, okay, if we can move along to yes, sorry.
Perhaps it would be helpful to think back to the infrastructure committee that this could certainly be on their recommendations when they finish their whatever all that they're doing, as a recommendation to council, because it's the mandate of all committees that are struck to bring bring recommendations back to council. I'm not arguing with you at all. I'm just saying, I would like to see that message brought back as to confirm and appreciate what they are doing, and they do have an outlet to whatever the recommendations are. That should be one of them. Maybe that's helpful, maybe it's not.
Thank you. Cllr Ando?
I provided a report to council at the April 1st meeting, and in that report, it gave their support for the projects that were in the 2014 budget, but it made one recommendation, and the one recommendation was to move forward on this infrastructure plan, that it should be done this year. So if you reread my report, or you can
I
listen
did,
to it
indeed.
that recommendation is there from the infrastructure committee, even within the minutes, I believe.
Well, I'm not arguing at all, and I did
That's fine. I'm
carefully
just-
read the report. I'm suggesting that that be part of their final report as well.
Thank you very much. Cllr Bain?
The problem I have with the resolution is, I'd have a hard time voting or even moving it. I have no idea what it would cost at this time, but the second sentence of the resolution, I think is a great idea, but I think it should come first, that further that the infrastructure committee review, formulate, and recommend the scope of work in the infrastructure master plan, and bring it back to staff or council. And I think if I saw that, I'd feel more comfortable with looking into commissioning something.
Thank you, Cllr Bain. Cllr Ando?
My opinion would be, but not having discussed it with them, or not specifically asking them, would be that the preparation of the scope of work to be included in what they envision in an infrastructure master plan would be considerable. And I don't believe that they're very busy, and I don't believe that they wanted a commitment from council to a certain degree, that council would be willing to go forward within those hours. Council certainly still has the ultimate decision whether to accept that scope of work or not to accept that scope of work. But the amount of hours that it would take to prepare that kind of documentation that would be required to be comprehensive is substantial, and I think they wanted to get the feel of council whether or not he was going to move forward or not move forward. So I would take the message back and see what they determine.
Okay, thank you very much, Cllr Ando.